Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Open Table Adventures. As always, I am Dan the Baker, and I'm here with another episode of Eat This Game. And I am here with none other than Em from BlackwaterDND. Hi, Em. How are you doing?
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here as well. Why don't you take a sec, tell us about who you are and what Blackwater is.
Yeah, okay, amazing. My name is Em Carlson. I use they, fair pronouns, and I am the creative director and co-CEO of BlackwaterDND. We are an actual play channel. You can find us everywhere across all socials and all streaming platforms at BlackwaterDND. We produce all sorts of tabletop content, not just D&D, like the name says. We do your favorite indie games you've never heard of, as well as that really familiar standard high fantasy D&D experience. We do both long form and short form content across both video and podcast mediums. So however you choose to engage with your tabletop actual play, there is something on the Blackwater channel for you. I would say we specialize in stories with a lot of heart, that there's always laughs along the way, and then those like big emotional hooks that you didn't see coming. So yeah, I'll take any opportunity to talk about Blackwater. We've been doing this for like 5 years now, and it's only up from here. So no stopping us now.
I just finished recently within the last couple months, finally finished Godkiller Balance, and so emotional pulling at the heartstrings definitely is a part of that. Yeah.
Yes, it is for sure. Yeah, our podcast series for sure tend to take a more emotionally heavy-hitting note with a lot of our video content, like especially our main campaign coming with levity, but really like definitely really a lot of emotional gritty moments through it when we get to play at a bigger table in person. So thank you. I'm so glad you listened to it. Thank you for listening.
I love Gina. Gina's actually been on the channel a couple years ago now.
Oh, yes.
And so I was like, I have to listen to it for Gina, but also because it's so good. But how did Blackwater start? Like, what was the inciting idea for you guys to start this?
Oh my gosh, I feel like we got started like so many other channels did in the middle of the pandemic, but our story actually begins a couple years earlier than that. So I started playing D&D in, would have been 2016. I had played a little bit as a kid with my dad, but then really kind of the bug bit me when Adam, one of the cast members, said he was going to start running a home game. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I like stumbled, oh my God, this is my whole personality now. I loved the role-playing experience. Tim, who is now Blackwater's main DM, is an improviser and an actor. And we started playing a home game. And that was happening weekly for about a year and a half. And then when the pandemic happened, we were like, oh my gosh, we can't play in my living room anymore. So we started playing on Zoom. And in our very first session that we ever played over Zoom, I was like, I'm going to record this. I'm just going to record this for posterity's sake so that I can do all the lore keeping later, because that was kind of my job at the table. And I think we joke, it's because this is now an audio episode that's available on the BlackwaterDND YouTube channel as kind of like a precursory episode to our first campaign. We joke in there that we should just press go live on the Zoom call and start streaming. And then after that session, we were like, well, let's just do it. Screw it. Like, let's just do it. So we grabbed a couple social media handles, had absolutely no infrastructure in place or any idea about how to stream. We literally just pressed go live on a Zoom call with a bunch of boxes, certainly no OBS or anything like that, bad audio equipment. And we're like, 2 people are going to come. It'll be Tim's mom and my dad will show up. And they did, to their credit. So we pressed go live on that first Zoom call, maybe like 3 days into the pandemic after the world shut down. And by the end of the first episode, we had like 60 people watching us play. And we're like, hey, this is the midway point of a campaign. We're like level 9s. Nobody knows these characters. We started off in combat, but there's got to be something here. So we kept going. Kept streaming that first campaign, which ended in September of 2022. We did our final 2 episodes at an in-person studio after playing entirely virtually for 2 years, and then started campaign 2, which is our current Best Wishes campaign. We're on episode 112, just streamed last night, at the time of this recording at least. And then, so we've been doing that one for our almost 3 years now. And we just leveled up to level 15. So we've got a little bit of time to go still. And the podcast stuff came later, our Patreon came later, but it's been such a wild ride. Like if someone had asked me even like 2 or 3 months into when we started streaming, hey, what do you think is going to be happening with Blackwater in 5 years? I would have laughed and been like, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll be doing it. But now I can never see myself not doing this. I love it so much. And the community that's kind of built up around the show and the folks that we've connected with and the stories that we've created are like, it's the best. It's amazing. And I love it. And I want to trade it for the world.
Yeah. I feel like nowadays with so many people, like, within the last year or so, people starting things have kind of come at it from this kind of like, okay, I know I'm going to stream. I know I'm going to like market this and do this and like do this. And it is nice hearing, like we kind of did this by accident. We kind of were just like, hey, why not?
Yeah, it was for sure an accident. Definitely not expected. And I think weren't even really serious about it when we first started. We're like, nah, we'll just, stream it. And then I was like, oh yeah, cool. This would be awesome. And then I think around Tim and I took a couple months off after the birth of my son, my second kiddo, which was like, we took 3 months off. I think that would have been like June to like October of 2021. And then basically right when we got back, we're like, okay, if we're doing it, let's do it. Let's get serious about this. And it has been like foot on the throttle ever since. No slowing down.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of work. Like you said, you have a lot of shows, you have a lot of people that it is a full-time job to do it pretty much.
Yes, it is.
It's like jobs, really.
I affectionately and not so affectionately joke that Blackwater is the full-time job that I don't get paid a full-time wage for. So I work as a therapist in my day job. I work with kids and adolescents. This is my office that you can see in the background where I work with kiddos. But yeah, so I probably am working like 40 hours a week on Blackwater at least. So it takes up every moment of my free time that I am not like being a parent and also working my day job.
Yeah. Which I think is just proof to show that like, this is something you love. Like this is, and I think you can tell in the product itself too. Like there's so much heart, so much love that is put into it, which I really enjoy.
Oh, thank you. That means so much. Like, yeah, we really do. We really love what we do. And we love telling stories and the opportunities that we've had to tell stories with just some incredible, amazing people, and the connections we've made. It's like, well, hey, this feels really nice and really cool. And that the reception on all of the stuff we do has just been monumental for us. So it's like, well, let's just keep doing it. It feels good, sounds good, looks good. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to know if you might already have this, but like, do you have like a central kind of like a mission statement? Like, what if you had to boil down Blackwater into just one idea, one statement? Like, what would that be?
Good friends telling better stories.
Yeah.
That's kind of our whole thing, is that we are at the core, we are a incredible group of friends who come from all different facets of life with all different backgrounds, who really, really, really have a passion for telling stories that kind of rise above and go further, and hit harder than, we want to take it a step further. We want to draw people in and be like, hey, come sit in this like beautiful emotional space with us. We want you to laugh with us. We want you to cry with us. We want you to, if you're yelling at your computer screen or your phone while you're watching our show while we're yelling at the table, that's exactly what we're hoping for. We're hoping for people to kind of dive into our content with 2 feet and feel all those feels along with us. So yeah, good friends telling better stories. And I think the other kind of catchphrase I often use for us is rolling dice and playing nice north of the 49th. So we're Canadian. We're very proud to be Canadian, and feature our Canadianness, I think, as much in our content as we can. And so I am truly of the mind that there are so many incredible tabletop creatives in Canada. And of course, like the States right now is the hub for tabletop content, whether that's like LA or even like stuff coming out of New York or, some of the bigger creators like spackled across the United States.
Yeah.
But I really always want to take the opportunity to showcase Canada and Vancouver, particularly as a home for tabletop content up here, because there's just some incredible folks making good stuff up here. So, and I'm proud to say that we're one of them. So it's very, very proud of our Canadianness and showcase that as much as we can.
Yeah, Yeah, actually, I just had some tabletop friends from Toronto who were visiting a couple weeks ago, who are amazing. Some of the most amazing, tabletop professionals and performers that I know. So I'm like, there's something in the water up in Canada that,
We like to think so. We feel really privileged to be able to like connect with Canadian creators on an ongoing basis. And something that's really important for us as Blackwater is like, if we can, we try and keep a lot of our, at least like 80% of our production located in Canada, like both in live and post-production. We try and keep as much of that in Canada as possible, and everywhere we can showcase Canadian performers, Canadian creators. We have a stipulation in a lot of our shows that it's got to be at least 50% Canadian. Which is really important to us, and highlighting the wonderful talent of folks up here in the space.
I love that. I'd love to now kind of move on, because we've talked about the beginning. I'd love to talk about what are some projects coming up that you're excited for that are coming out soon with Blackwater.
Oh my gosh. Well, there'll be a bunch that have just dropped when we release this recording. So I'll talk a little bit about those. I'll talk about our video stuff first, and then I'll move over into the podcast realm. So on our live streaming, we just would have wrapped up Godkiller Inc., which is a 4-episode mini series set in my Godkiller kind of canon, which is all actually canonical within the main Blackwater canon as a whole, that is continuous with our main campaign, and that is using the Ink system by Snowbright Studios, sponsored by Bookworm Games. So I am in the process currently, as of recording this, we're in pre-production and getting ready for our first episode to film in like 5 days from now. So I'm really excited, and it's going to be really good. And it'll be a kind of a background story that will coincide with the rest of the Godkiller stories that we've released so far, and provide some teasers and Easter eggs for the ones that are upcoming. Oblivion and Balance are out now, and then we'll have Ink kind of as something in the background, and then have Endymion and Ash, which are going to be our final 2 Godkiller series, which will release in early 2026 and late 2026 retrospectively. Then we've also released Afterlight, which is a Blades in the Dark sci-fi horror podcast, post-apocalyptic, which is our first ever show with a guest GM. We're so excited. Our composer, Cy Rutherford, who did a lot of the music for Godkiller Balance, has stepped into the GM seat, and man, is he good. Holy bananas. I cannot wait to release the series. Performers are myself, Gina, Amelia Somm from Unprepared Casters, and Sean Deppner from Blackwater. And this story is hard hitting. It's heavy. It's heavy, but that's pretty in line for us with our podcast series. Yeah. I'm jumping all over the place now. And then we've got Story Bake, which is going to be releasing very soon, which we're so excited about. The one shot, I've already started a little pre-planning on that, and people have been looking at what kind of bakers they're going to be, which is really, really exciting. That will be set in our canon as well. So that will be occurring in the Blackwater universe, probably around the same time as our current main campaign is happening. So it'll be a nice little side quest for that. And then for December, the rest of December, we are playing Willamere, which is using the Quill system from Bookworm Games. Like, imagine a cozy version of Redwall. So you all play tiny little animals. If Redwall and Wanderhome got kind of like smashed together. So that is what Willamere and the Quill system is. We're really excited to do a little wintry mini series for that, which is 3 episodes. So a full content slate for the rest of the fall, extending into the new year. We will be returning with main campaign in the new year. Very excited as we kind of look towards the final quarter of the campaign, which feels wild. We've been playing the same characters for 3 years now, and I don't think I'm ready to let go yet. So we've got some time, but the end is in sight with that one, and there will be a campaign 3 after that. So always stuff on the horizon with us.
Yes, always stuff. Very exciting, very busy sounding.
It never stops, Dan. It never stops. I'm having meetings and we've got I will say 1, 2, 3, 4 other big pitches that I cannot talk about in process. Those would be bigger, like video productions, like super high production quality. So in bunch of meetings about those with some big companies folks might recognize. So when I can talk about those, I will. But I'm hopeful those all kind of come through and we can bring those incredible stories to light as well.
Yeah. You kind of just touched on it a little bit. I would love to talk more because I have a 5-year D&D campaign that is my like home game that is coming to an end.
Amazing.
We are trying to schedule our final session like now.
Oh, incredible.
I would love to know how do you feel about like, you know, ending those big campaigns? Like, and what is your approach as a player and as like a contributor to the story?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, they're bittersweet, I think, at their core, because ultimately what they are is a culmination of heart and love and care and investment of everybody at the table. It's an incredible accomplishment for our DM, Tim, who is also my partner, to watch him just masterfully weave together just hundreds and hundreds of threads to try and, you know, tie up what needs to be tied up, leave as many loose threads as we need to kind of sprinkle through to the next campaign. And it, you know, it's, you want to celebrate that, but there's also the sadness that comes along with that of like, you know, putting a character to let them live the rest of their life, you know, because it's, you know, it's not going to be the last time. There will be times that I pick up that character again. I think about the ending of campaign 1, where I'm, you know, my cleric, who I love. She is my baby girl, Nepentha. And it's like, we've seen what Neppy is doing in campaign 2. And like my heart pulls every time I hear about her and the strife that she's going through. So you know, there'll be always time to pick her up again. There'll be time where, you know, my current character, my monk, Shy, I'm sure there will be an opportunity to play her again, but it's like, you have to let them go and live their lives. Cause this is like, each campaign that we've had in their real lives takes place over like 2 to 3 to 4 years of their life, with wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff in the middle. So at some point you have to be okay to let go, and that it's important to let go and know that like, it's not a rupture. It's not goodbye forever. It's just so long for now. And then it's like, then I get excited about the new character that I'm going to make for the next one. And it's like, I already am percolating on like what kind of stuff, what kind of themes and what kind of stuff I want to pull on for campaign 3. I have some ideas in the works, but we shall see.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, I definitely understand that feeling, like, especially coming from, you know, because I've been running this game for so long. It's like it does feel like it's not like I said, it's not a goodbye, it's a so long, and it kind of feels like this is the part of the story that we're just not going to see it, but the story's still going to continue. Like there's still going to be, the world's still going to turn, like there's still going to be stuff happening, and I'm going to be thinking about the stuff that happened.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I am excited because the same group is going to be doing a Daggerheart campaign after this one. Oh,
so fun. Daggerheart's such a good system. I love it. I get
to be a player, so I'm very excited to be a player in a longer campaign.
Yeah, I have a wizard in the can for Daggerheart, and I can't wait for the opportunity to play him. He is going to be a fun time. He's a Dracono wizard, a war wizard. So I'm very stoked for when I get to play him. It should be a good time.
Very exciting. Yeah, I think I went with one of the martial classes, which is new for me. So we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, so we talked about, listed off the future projects that you're doing with Blackwater. Yes. I'd love to know if there's something like some game or idea out there that you have not done or planned for that you really want to sink your teeth into.
Oh my gosh, the list is so long, Dan. There's so many games that I want to play. We've never done a Vampire the Masquerade at our table, which I think I would love to literally sink my teeth into that at some point, pun intended. I would love to, I'd love to bring Daggerheart to our channel. I really like more narratively focused, less crunchy games. So I would love to do something super cozy, like a Yazaba's Bed and Breakfast, or I'd love to do Wander Home. I obviously always want to do more Godkiller because I can't stop doing Godkiller. I just can't stop myself. And then there's one project Oh my gosh, it has like lived rent free in my brain. And it's the kind of project that you're like, I know how much work this thing is. So it's like, I need to clear my decks first. And it's like, I feel like once I've wrapped up Godkiller, this will be the thing that I jump into. It's the Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game.
Yeah.
I am one of the biggest OGOA fans you'll meet. It is a perfect audio fiction show in my eyes, and nobody will ever convince me otherwise. I live in Vancouver in BC, and in BC has such an incredible history of mining and railroad, that in that kind of age, the golden age of railroad and mining and stuff like that, and all of the pitfalls and tribulations and strife that come with that. So what I would love to do is take the Old God system with all of its accoutrement and everything that comes along with it and set it here. So in central BC, there's an area called the Okanagan, which is where most of that mining and railroad occurred, the Kettle Valley Railway. There was tons of gold. There was a gold rush up here. So I want to do Old Gods of the Okanagan. And I want to work with there was incredible, wonderful Indigenous storytellers here in BC who have roots in those communities. And I really want to make sure I do it right. Because I mean, I'm white. I don't ever want to minimize or whitewash any form of story. So that would be a really important factor for me, is being able to work with these wonderful, wonderful creators whose stories are in their histories. There's also an incredible Chinese Canadian presence here who have long histories with mining and the railroad. So I'd want to talk to folks in those communities, elders and history keepers before getting started with that. Gnome Anne and I talk about Old Gods of the Okanagan every now and again, and we're like, this is the project, this is the big future project. So that's I think once my Godkiller bug has sufficiently been sated, I think that's where I'll turn my attention next.
Definitely. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sounds like thinking of the writing and rewriting you'd have to do, and that sounds like a lot to take on, and I commend you for wanting to do that.
Thank you.
It's when you have that idea that you're that bug that really sticks to you, you definitely you're like, I will, burn the sun out in order to get this done. So I understand 100%. For sure.
And I am the kind of person that's like, there's a lyric from a Sleep Token song that I think just I want to get branded on my person that says, one eye on the target, 2 bricks on the throttle. And that's how I live my life. I'm a person who runs at 150 miles an hour, and that's my base speed. So if I'm going to throw my whole self into something, I'm going to do it. I want to do it right. I don't ever want to cut corners or have to I want to have the space and time where I can just go and do this story and do it and give it the justice it deserves. Because as a collaborative storytelling, tabletop is such a beautiful medium for storytelling that it's we have the capacity and the opportunity to bring in amazing voices and just tell something lovely together. And that's really always the goal. So I want to do it right. And that takes time and effort and money. So that's where, and once Godkiller is done, that's where I'll go next.
Yeah. But it's worth it. It's always worth it.
It is worth it, 100%. And I wouldn't do it any other way. Yeah.
I always say it's even if not a single person, watches a thing that I really want to make or sees it, it's still worth it to me, because it's this is my, my creations in the world. It's real. And it's a result of so much effort and time.
Absolutely. We won best story at the LA Web Fest this year for Balance, and it blows me away that I wrote Balance, at least started writing Balance when I was deep in the depths of grief. Nobody had died in my life, but I was kind of grieving a bunch of change, a bunch of transition, things I couldn't control, and I realized that if I didn't do something with that feeling, it was gonna make me explode. So I wrote Balance about it, and convinced Gina and Giannis to come play with me in my sad little universe. And then just to see the incredible amount of response and the type of response we've received for the series, it just blows me away time and time again that people resonate so much with a really, really sad story. And they're talking about moving through the stages of grief and be like, oh yeah, Em, you were on one that session. I was like, thank you. Yes, I was. And so to be able to move through the stages of grief with my players, but also having the audience join us along is that's magic. That's the stuff. That's the stuff.
That's it. You kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it does feel, like all of the Blackwater products or projects and tables just feel so much like I'm sitting there with you, like
Thank
I'm
you.
experiencing these, like it's like, oh, I've never experienced this emotion personally, but I'm like, oh, I empathize and sympathize with what's going on. Like I feel like, these characters are like I'm sitting with these characters.
Oh my gosh, Dan, that's like the best compliment you could ever give. Thank you so much. And that's like, that is always the goal. Especially with our podcast series, our goal with them is to be like, I can't think of a better word than intimate. It needs to be intimate, like especially in the audio medium, because you're feeding right into somebody's ears, and can be such an individual experience. We want it to be immersive. We want it to be. I want it to feel like as you said, that our audience member is in the room where this is happening between these two people. I want it to feel like a secret is being told, and you're the only one who gets to hear it. It should feel like it wraps around you and holds you. This kind of storytelling, that's always one of my goals as a GM, particularly, is to tell a story and create an immersive experience that holds you in this place. It is okay to feel whatever you're feeling with this. We want you to be here with us, and we're gonna help guide you through it. And then with all of our, like, I think our main campaign, one of our guiding principles is always like, as performers, it's really important to us to be like, there is always a like metaphorical empty seat at the table. The audience should feel like they are part of our table, not necessarily in a parasocial way, but in a like, you are part of our community. You are welcome here, whoever you are, whatever you do. There is no hate in our community's like so wholesome. It's so wonderful. I think we've been very lucky and protected from a lot of the toxicity that kind of exists in a lot of the tabletop community spaces. There's a really no tolerance policy, and it's like our community is just like the most welcoming, and they're so wonderful. I want to just like share stuff with them all the time. Our Discord is like such a delightful place. But we always want our audience members, whether you've been, I always say kind of at the top of our show, whether you're new with us tonight or you've been with us for ages, that it's like, that's true. Like there's people who have been with us for almost as long as we've been streaming. And then we want those people to feel, the new people that come in, to feel just as welcome as the folks from the beginning as well.
And that definitely is felt for sure.
Yay, good. I'm glad.
To wrap up our little interview, there's one question I always ask the guests for Eat This Game, and that is, if you were to take a big old bite out of Blackwater D&D, what would it taste like? What's the mouthfeel? What's that culinary experience?
Oh, it reminds you of like it reminds you of like a beautiful feeling that you had the last time you were enjoying something that made you feel. It's got nostalgia in every bite. It's warm. The texture is like soft when it needs to be, crunchy when it needs to be. It's perfectly baked, never overdone or underdone. Has the right balance of salt and sweet. And I think it surprises you with a flavor that you didn't quite expect, but you keep coming back for more.
Yeah, that definitely tracks. That makes sense to me. All right. And I think that, with that, I think I just need to get to the kitchen and get baking.
Well, have an amazing time in the kitchen. I cannot wait to see this recipe. And I want to say a huge shout out to you, Dan. Thank you so much for we're so excited for Story Bake. And I shared with the cast the kind of what you're going to be making, the recipe you're going to be making for us, which I won't say now, just so you can say it in a second. And I think I saw some eyes widen and some jaws drop. So I'm very excited about this. So have a great time in the kitchen and bake safe, I guess.
All right, you guys. So we are going to be making some Peppermint Mocha cookies for Blackwater D&D today. There's a couple reasons to do this. Number one, they're about to do a Christmas-themed Story Bake episode where they're gonna be making Peppermint Mocha cookies over there. So, a little cross-platform thing going on. And also, I do feel like peppermint mocha cookies do kind of, you know, hit what Blackwater D&D is going for. It has the, you know, Christmassy kind of homemade, home for the holidays situation going for it. Then it also has that kind of like darkness and bitterness with the dark cocoa and the coffee and all that mixed in, and a little bit of sweetness too with the rest of the cookie. So let me go ahead and start getting our ingredients together. But first we need to do the fun part, which is smashing some candy canes to make peppermint bits. All right, so for this recipe, you need a cup of like peppermint bits just to go in the actual cookies, and a little bit extra for topping them before you bake them. So in here I have 12 candy canes. You can also use just like, you know, the little like circular peppermints if you want. You also can find like actual peppermint bits in some places, so you can use those. I prefer my peppermint bits home bit tin. I just like smashing things. I'm going to wrap our candy canes in this towel just to make sure things don't go flying. And then I'm going to smash it with this rolling pin while I am channeling all of the emotions I still have pent up about the God Killer Balance finale. All right, that looks pretty good to me. There's still some bigger pieces in there I might break up a bit later, but they should be that, you know, about that size, 1/4 inch, couple centimeters thick. I'm gonna set these aside for later. And in this bowl, I'm going to put together our dry ingredients, starting with 2 cups of flour. As always, I'm using gluten-free flour, but this recipe works just as well with regular flour. Got a 1/4 teaspoon baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. And then 2 tablespoons of espresso powder. This is, you know, what gives the mocha its mocha coffeeness. You don't technically like need it if you don't want that coffee bit or if you can't find espresso powder. You also can use instant coffee powder. The flavor is like a little bit different. It's not as strong, but it still gives the same effect. Got a teaspoon of salt and 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. I'm just gonna whisk these up until it's all homogeneous. All right, and in here, I'm going to melt 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Just gonna melt them in the microwave in like 30-second increments. All right, this is nice, melted and smooth. I'm going to add in my 2 eggs, one at a time. And just quickly mix them with the chocolate. And now I'm going to set this aside for later. All right, and finally, in this bowl, I'm going to put together my very softened butter, granulated sugar, and brown sugar, and I am going to cream them together until light and fluffy. If you're doing it right, this should take about 10 minutes. All right, our butter and sugar are nice creamed together, and now we are going to assemble. Start. I'm going to mix in our chocolate and egg mixture into our butter and sugar. Slowly add it so it doesn't break. Scrape down this bowl so we get all the chocolate goodness. I'm gonna whisk those together until it's all well and combined. All right, should be looking nice and chocolatey. Now we're gonna make it even more chocolatey by adding our dry ingredients. I'm gonna add them just a little bit at a time, probably about in thirds maybe, just to make it easier to mix everything together. Don't overwhelm our bowls, because, you know, it's the end of the year. It's time for self-care. We don't want to overwhelm our bowls. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves. Take a break. Take a breather. Go outside. No, don't go outside. It's cold out. Don't go outside. Go read a book by your heater. Go, like, you know, you can't go touch grass right now because the grass is all dead. But you can, like, look up a picture of grass and look at that. Long for warmer days. That'd be nice. All right, with our last bit of flour here, I'm also going to add in our peppermint. and some more chocolate chips. Because when I say these are chocolate cookies, these are chocolate cookies. And then I'm going to finish mixing these up until it's all fully combined. Our dough is fully mixed now, so I'm going to prep them to bake. I'm making these a little bit smaller because, spoiler alert, this video was filmed a couple weeks ago before PAX Unplugged, and I'm bringing these PAX Unplugged, and I want them to be smaller so I can give more to people. So I'm making them about an inch wide. You can make them probably twice as big, even maybe 3 times as big, and it's totally fine. So I'm going to roll them into these 1-inch balls, and then in my leftover peppermint, I'm going to roll them around just a little bit, just to get some of that extra peppermint goodness on every single bite. I'm going to do this for all of this dough, and then I'm going to stick this whole thing in the fridge to chill for about 30 minutes, and then these will bake at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. My balls will take a little bit shorter because they're smaller. Your balls are larger, not to be presumptuous, so it might take a little bit longer. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, get these baked, and I will see you at the glamour shots. And there you have it, folks. Our chocolatey, minty, wintertime BlackwaterDND Peppermint Mocha Cookies. Yes, I'm wearing different clothes. Yes, it's a different day. Don't judge me, I'm tired. Tell them where they can find you.
I want to say a huge thank you for Dan for having me on the show today. My name is Em Carlson. I use fair pronouns, and I'm the creative director and CEO over at BlackwaterDND. You can find us everywhere at BlackwaterDND, whether it's on your favorite podcasting app or however you choose to peruse your tabletop content. We are there. We have stories of all shapes and sizes and genres and emotional tones. So whatever you want to feel, whatever you want to watch, come hang out with us. We have a bunch of content on our YouTube and on our podcast feed. So whatever you're looking for, we've got it for you. And thanks so much for listening today. It's very nice to do this. Okay, thanks y'all. Bye.
Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you check out BlackwaterDND and all of their amazing shows that they have going on over there, like the Story Bake one-shot they're doing tomorrow. You may recognize something over there. And make sure you stick around here at Open Table Adventures, where we will have more recipes, actual plays, interviews, one-shots, and so much more. So as always, I've been Dan the Baker. This has been Open Table Adventures, and you are always welcome to pull up a seat. Bye-bye. Well,